Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Fuego. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all the Souls games from worst to best. Now keep in mind, just because it's worst, second worst, or third to worst, does not mean it's a bad game, just some are not as good as others. But before we get into the video, I would just like to propose the thought that you could always leave a like or perhaps give me a subscription. Now starting off in 7th place is none other than Demon Souls. I mean, what could you expect? It's the first one, it's the beta game, it set up the other Souls games, but it's just more of a simple, not as fun or not thought out game as others. Now this by no means is a bad game, but I also wouldn't necessarily say it's a good game. Now this game is by far the shortest of all the Souls games and lacks in boss fights, but it kind of makes up with that in replayability because it's a shorter game, so it doesn't feel like as much as a commitment and it doesn't feel as stressful. There's not really much else to say, so I'm going straight to the next one. And now I'm coming out swinging with the hot takes, and I'm putting in 6th place. I know, hold the gasps and murmurs, but it's Dark Souls 3. Now, I think Dark Souls 3 is still a good game, but it's so overrated. And the only thing people say that is good about it is the bosses, and compared to Elden Ring and Sekiro, it's nothing. I think the replayability is not very good in this game because of the beginning areas. All the beginning areas in this game are horrific in my eyes, so I can never find myself to do another playthrough because I struggle and just hate those areas. Now, I do love the DLC and all the boss fights in that, so that kind of brings it up a notch. But I really don't like the atmosphere in this game. They just have so little colors and it just seems like so little of life. But I know that's how the lore is supposed to go, and I guess that makes sense towards the game. But to me, it just kind of seems like bland and pale, and I'm just not a big fan of it. One thing I really do like in this game is finding all the big enemies, little enemies, and NPC-like enemies. I don't know what it is, but it just feels so unique and fun in these games. Whereas like sometimes in Elden Ring or Sekiro kind of feels like a waste of time and unimportant. And some people think that the rolling is too fast and that you can just R1 spam, but I do think Dark Souls 3 is a lot quicker paced game than most of the games in the Souls series, so I think it kind of balances out. Now coming in number 5th place is Dark Souls 2. Now this is either a hit or a miss. You love this game or you hate it. And I can see why, because it's so much different from all the other Souls games. There's the hollowing feature where you lose health every time you die, bonfire aesthetics, kind of funky combat system, gank-like enemy placement, and reviving NPCs. Now, I enjoyed this game, probably the second most out of all the series, and even though I have fun playing it every single time I play it, it wasn't that well made and not that well thought out. And I can see how the annoying combat and very bad hitboxes could detour someone from playing it and make them not like the game as much. But on the upside, I love the area's designs. Each area feels so unique and different, and I do think a part that plays into that is how colorful this game is, which some people like and some people don't, but I personally like that because it makes all my experiences feel memorable and everything feel unique. I also do like the pacing. I feel like this game's combat is a lot slower than the others. That might seem like a old grandpa game, but I do really enjoy it because when it comes to faster games like Dark Souls 3, I end up just spamming the RB and spamming roll. And the last thing I want to talk about is the replayability. I don't know what it is about this game, but I keep making new playthroughs and I keep playing it again and again. And usually I don't like to replay games, even Elden Ring I don't like replaying. But this game, I don't know why, I just keep making new playthroughs and powering through. Now coming to 4th place, that is, and there's going to be some gasp on this one, Bloodborne. I do think this is a good game, but it's not really my style. I don't really like the, darker horror aspects, but I still do think it is fun. And I especially like the approach they did, where they did the quality over quantity, how there's few weapons, but they're also unique and so fun. I especially love the gun parrying, and I mean, everything you do with the gun is fucking cool. Now, I don't think the bosses in this game are the best, but I do think they are pretty good, and I love how the weapons feel so useful, and the enemies and boss fights just complement these weapons so well. Now, putting this in 4th place seems kind of crazy, and I mean, back in 2015, this would probably be my 2nd place game. But now that we got the other big, great games in this, I feel like it kind of de-ranks this game. And coming in number 3rd place is Dark Souls Remastered. I know this seems a little bit high, but I think this game is absolutely beautiful. It's visually stunning, and I think the combat is severely underrated. I really enjoy the combat and just exploring through the areas, sneak attacking enemies, and finding different solutions to the problems that you'll face. Now, people do hate on this game because it's very slow, and I will agree with that. This game is like polar opposites from DS3. I think the areas are very good, but I do think the combat, the rolling, everything about this game is very slow. But I kind of like that. This is more of like a chill game for vibes. You're not really sweating, but boss fights, you're kind of just going along with the motion, relaxing and having fun. And I love the connectivity in this game. Every single thing has a shortcut, has a hidden elevator, something that makes all the areas connected. And everyone does say the lore is great, it's fantastic, it connects everything to itself, but I honestly could not care less about the lore. I'm here to fight, kill bosses, get cool weapons. And I don't know what it is about this game, but when playing it, I just get that feeling, you know, I just want to moan. Now, coming into the number 2 spot, you know it was either Sekiro or Elden Ring, and that is going to be Sekiro. At first, I didn't really like this game. I didn't want to play, but my friend kept forcing me to play, and then I instantly fell in love. And yes, I know you've heard it a million times, but the combat on this game is absolutely flawless. It just feels so good. And something else about this game that I don't know if it gets recognized enough, but that is how it's all so consistent, which I guess will be kind of obvious since it's one weapon, same combat. And I mean, obviously the combat is going to be consistently great, but not even that. The enemies, the boss fights, and even the areas. There was one area I didn't really like that much. That was one with the giant cannons where they just sniped you out of the air. But besides that, everything about this game is consistently great. And the best thing in my opinion about this game is the feeling you get when you beat those hard bosses. At first I got so mad that it was offline because I was never used to struggling before. If I died a couple times, I'd use Mimic Tier or summon one of my friends. But when I died to the Owl Father 90 times and beat him on my 91st, I almost went into cardiac arrest. That feeling was so good. I didn't have to beat it for another 5 weeks. Now in the number uno spot, that is Elden Ring. I mean, it's fucking Elden Ring. What else could it be? This is by far the best game I think I've ever played with glaze intended. When this game first came out, I played I think 8 hours every day till I beat it. And I made 3 more runs playing 8 hours every day. I didn't even know this game came out till the day it came out, and I decided to give it a little whirl thinking it'd be a little knockoff open world, but wow, was I surprised. Now, I see the complaint how there's reused bosses, and how there's so much farming intended and it kind of seems like a chore. But during your first playthrough, I think the farming is so fun, and that's one of those key factors that makes the game so good. But I do understand that once you make new playthroughs, getting all these items, all the crafting materials, the keys does seem like a chore, which I agree, this game has very little replayability. And as much as I love to glaze this game, the reused bosses are pretty annoying. But besides that, I think this game is beautiful. I don't know how they can make every single area in this game look so stunning. The enemies play out greatly. Sometimes it feels a little bit unimportant to kill them and you can just run past them with Torrent. But besides that, all the legacy dungeons are great, even the sewers. It does kind of fall off at the snow area, but it redeems itself later on. And I do think there's 3 things that this game kind of missed out on, which would make this the perfect game. The first thing I think they missed out on adding was the Sekiro Gauntlet, where you could fight bosses for fun, because I don't really feel like starting a new playthrough every time, considering how much of a commitment it is to start new playthroughs on this game. Second is adding covenants, and I feel like they kind of did that with the Volcano Manor thing, but it would have been so nice to see full-fledged covenants where you do tasks like killing hosts by invading them and getting rewards and getting different ranks for the more hosts you kill, but that's just an example. And the third one is what I've already said before, replayability. Yes, I know you could just go to New Game Plus, but even that is tedious, considering the New Game areas are nothing but riding on your horses, because you literally one-shot the bosses. It doesn't even get semi-intriguing till the end of the game where you got Malekith. And that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you enjoyed that little yap sesh, and hopefully see you in the next one, yeah.